Look, I have been training cadets for 73 cycles. 73. And in all that time, across 16 different star systems, with recruits from 42 species, I thought I had seen everything. Soft-bodied Geltharians who couldn't handle a simple 3G spin? Check. Crystalloid warriors who shattered under pressure training? Absolutely. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for the day Marcus Webb walked into my facility. He shuffled in like every other fresh recruit, all wide-eyed and uncertain, clutching his assignment datapad like it was going to save his life. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. The human stood there in the assembly hall, barely reaching the shoulder height of a standard Vraxian, looking about as threatening as a domesticated moss creeper. I remember thinking, great, another fragile species that will wash out by lunch. Commander Thex, my superior, had sent me a priority message the night before. Vorn, it read, we are receiving a human trainee. Be mindful. Mindful? Mindful of what? Breaking him? I laughed so hard my secondary lung sac nearly ruptured. Humans came from Earth, a pathetic little world with barely 1 g of gravity. 1. My homeworld of Crethus Prime pulled a solid 2.7 gs on a calm day. These soft little mammals were going to crumble like stale protein bars. The morning briefing started normally enough. 23 recruits, various species, all standing at attention in the main training dome. I paced in front of them, my claws clicking against the reinforced flooring, letting the tension build. That is how you establish dominance. That is how you separate the warriors from the wasters. Welcome to Advanced Combat Training Facility 94, I announced, my voice echoing off the curved walls. I am Instructor Vorn. For the next 60 days, I own you. Your comfort? Gone. Your pride? Irrelevant. Your previous accomplishments? Utterly meaningless here. I stopped in front of Marcus. The human met my gaze, which I had to admit, showed some spine. Most recruits looked away. You, I said, leaning down until my snout was inches from his face. Human, correct? Yes, sir, he replied. His voice did not shake. Interesting. Tell me, human, what is your home gravity? 9.8 meters per second squared, sir. Approximately 1 standard g. A few snickers rippled through the ranks. I let them. 1 g. I stepped back, spreading my arms wide. This facility operates at standard galactic military specification. 2.2 gs, tell me, Marcus Webb, do you think you can handle more than double your body weight pressing down on you? Every moment? Every movement? He swallowed hard. Good. Fear was healthy. I will do my best, sir. Your best? I clicked my mandibles together, a gesture of amusement in my culture. Your best will not be enough. But, I am feeling generous today. Let us start with something simple. I led the group to training floor 7, my personal favorite. The chamber stretched 50 meters in every direction, with variable gravity plating beneath a grid that could adjust the pull in real time. The walls were lined with impact dampening gel, though honestly, it was more for show than function. If someone hit those walls hard enough to need dampening, they had already failed. Basic endurance trial, I announced, tapping commands into my wrist console. You will complete 1 circuit. Run the perimeter, crawl under the barrier section, climb the vertical wall, cross the balance beam, and return to start. Simple, yes? We begin at standard 2.2 gs. The Vraxians looked confident. The Keltorians stretched their multiple limbs. The Thrunix recruits, with their hydraulic leg systems, practically smirked. And Marcus? He just stood there, breathing steadily, rolling his shoulders back. Human, I called out, unable to resist. Perhaps we should lower the gravity for you? Maybe 1.5 gs. We would not want you to get hurt on your first day. More laughter. Even some of the instructors observing from the control booth chuckled. Marcus looked at me, and for just a fraction of a second, something flickered in his eyes. Not anger. Not fear. Something else. Standard gravity is fine, sir. Oh, brave words. I activated my timer. We shall see how long that courage lasts. Everyone, positions. The recruits lined up. I raised my hand, savoring the moment. This was always my favorite part, watching the weak ones realize exactly how far out of their depth they truly were. Begin. They took off. The Vraxians surged ahead with their powerful leg muscles, built for heavy gravity worlds. The Keltorians used all 6 limbs for efficiency. Even the smaller recruits moved with desperate determination. And Marcus? He ran like gravity was trying to drag him through the floor. Each step looked like agony, his boots slamming down harder than they should, his breathing already labored. 20 meters in, and sweat poured down his face. 30 meters, and his legs shook visibly. By the time he hit the crawl section, 2 other recruits had already finished. He dropped to his stomach, pulling himself forward with his arms, and I could hear him grunting with effort. Come on, human. I shouted. My grand hatchling moves faster than this, and she is still in the egg. He did not respond. Just kept moving, inch by agonizing inch. The climbing wall came next, and I honestly expected him to give up. 3 meters of vertical surface, with hold spaced for standard military reach. He grabbed the first hold, pulled, and his arm trembled like it might tear right out of the socket. But he did not stop. Slowly, painfully, Marcus Webb climbed that wall. When he finally hauled himself over the top, he lay there for a moment, gasping. No rest. I barked. Move, move, move. He rolled to his feet, staggered across the balance beam, somehow did not fall, and then ran, if you could call it running, back to the start line. He collapsed across it, dead last, taking nearly triple the time of the fastest recruit. I walked over, looking down at the heaving, sweating mess of human at my feet. Well, I said, making sure everyone could hear. At least you finished. Barely. Marcus pushed himself up onto his hands and knees, then slowly stood. His legs wobbled. His face was flushed red. But he stood at attention. Ready for round 2, sir. I blinked. All 4 of my eyes. Excuse me? I said. He breathed heavily, ready for round 2. Oh, this stupid, stubborn little mammal. Did he have a death wish? There is no round 2 today, human. You can barely stand. With respect, sir, you said basic endurance. That was 1 circuit. How many constitute basic? The other recruits had gone silent, watching. I felt my crest feathers rise, an involuntary response to the challenge. No recruit had ever. 5 circuits, I heard myself say. Basic endurance is 5 circuits. Marcus nodded once. Then I have 4 more to go, sir. And just like that, everything I thought I knew about humans went straight through the waste recycler. So there I stood, watching this ridiculous human prepare for 4 more circuits, and I realized I had made a terrible, terrible mistake. The kind of mistake that gets discussed in officer lounges for decades. The kind that makes you the punchline of every training academy joke from here to the outer rim. But pride, you see, is a universal constant. And I had too much of it to back down now. Very well, I said, keeping my voice level despite the absolute insanity of what was happening. 4 more circuits. Same gravity. No modifications. Begin when ready. Marcus took exactly 3 breaths, rolled his neck once, and started running. Again. The mad fool actually started running again. This time, I watched more carefully. His technique was awful, do not misunderstand me. His form was garbage by any military standard. But there was something in the way he moved, something I had missed the first time. Every step looked heavy, yes, but he was distributing the weight, rolling through his stride in a way that suggested his body knew exactly what it was doing, even if his muscles were screaming in protest. The second circuit took him slightly less time. Only by about 40 seconds, but still. Less time. While struggling under more than double his home gravity. That should not have been possible. Physiologically, it made no sense whatsoever. By the third circuit, the other recruits had stopped their own training to watch. Even the Vraxians, who never showed respect to anyone outside their species, had gone quiet. Marcus hit the crawl section, and I swear on my ancestors, he was moving faster than the first time. Not fast by objective standards, but faster than before. His arms, which should have been jelly by now, pulled him forward with steady rhythm. Lieutenant Kress, one of my fellow instructors, came down from the observation booth. She was a Thrunix, all logic and calculation, and she looked genuinely confused. "Vorn," she said quietly, "his heart rate should be critical. His muscle tissue should be tearing. How is he still moving?" "I have absolutely no idea," I admitted, which felt like swallowing razor moss. The fourth circuit was where things got weird. Marcus reached the climbing wall, grabbed the first hold, and paused. For maybe 2 seconds, he just hung there, and I thought, finally, he is done. Finally, this madness ends. But no. He adjusted his grip, set his feet differently, and went up that wall faster than any previous attempt. Not gracefully, mind you. It looked like watching cargo being winched up a loading shaft. But faster. When he crossed the finish line for the fourth time, something had changed in his movement. The wobble in his legs was less pronounced. His breathing, while still heavy, had found a rhythm. It was like his body was adapting in real time, which again, should not have been possible. Adaptation took weeks, sometimes months. Not minutes. "One more," he gasped, bending over with his hands on his knees. "One more circuit, sir." The training floor had gone completely silent. 22 recruits, 4 instructors, and probably a dozen observers in the booth above, all watching this one human who refused to understand that he was supposed to fail. "Marcus," I said, and my voice came out different than I intended. Less mocking, more serious. "You have proven your point. You can stop." He looked up at me, sweat dripping from his chin, his hair plastered to his forehead, and he smiled. Actually smiled. "No point to prove, sir. Just one more circuit to complete." I wanted to order him to stop. Medically, ethically, I should have ordered him to stop. But something in his eyes told me that would be the worst thing I could do. So I stepped back and gestured to the course. "Fifth circuit. Go." He went. And this time, something extraordinary happened. Marcus Webb, human from Earth, recruited from a 1G world, ran that fifth circuit like he had been born in heavy gravity. His stride opened up. His breathing steadied into a combat rhythm we teach in advanced training. When he hit the crawl section, he moved with purpose instead of desperation. The climbing wall? He went up it with technique, actual technique, finding the optimal holds, using his legs to push instead of just pulling with his arms. Lieutenant Kress grabbed my arm, her pressure grip almost painful. "Vorn, check the gravity plating. Something must be malfunctioning." I pulled up the diagnostics on my wrist console. 2.2 GS, exactly. No fluctuation. No malfunction. The human was just adapting. In real time. Under conditions that should have been impossible for his physiology. He crossed the balance beam without a single wobble. And then he ran, actually ran with proper form, back to the start line. When he crossed it for the 5th time, he did not collapse. He stood at attention, breathing hard but standing, and rendered a perfect military salute. 5 circuits complete, sir. The silence lasted maybe 3 heartbeats. Then one of the Vraxian recruits, a massive warrior named Gorth who had never shown respect to anyone, began a slow, rhythmic stomp with his primary feet. The traditional Vraxian acknowledgement of a worthy opponent. Within seconds, every recruit in the facility was making their species-specific gesture of respect. The Keltorians clicked their mandibles. The Thrunics hummed their harmonic tone. Even the observers in the booth were visible through the windows, standing at attention. I walked up to Marcus, who still stood there, swaying slightly but standing, and I did something I had not done in 73 cycles of training recruits. I lowered my head, exposing my neck ridge, the Cartesian gesture of acknowledgement to an equal. "Well done, Cadet Webb." "Thank you, sir," he managed, his voice hoarse. Then he added, with that infuriating human smile still on his face, "So, what is the advanced endurance test?" And that was when I heard it. A crack. Sharp and clear, echoing through the chamber. Everyone froze. I looked down, and there, spreading from where Marcus stood, were fracture lines in the reinforced training floor. The plating, designed to handle Vraxian powerlifters and Keltorian impact drills, had spiderweb cracks radiating from his position. Lieutenant Kress checked her scanner and went absolutely still. "Vorn," she said slowly, "the impact stress readings from his run they are off the scale. The cumulative force he generated should not have been possible from a 1G species." I looked at Marcus, who was now staring down at the cracked floor with an expression of mild surprise. He said. "Is that bad? Is that bad? Is that bad?" The human had just run 5 circuits under crushing gravity, adapted faster than any species on record, and literally cracked military-grade flooring with nothing but determination and whatever insane evolutionary advantages his species possessed. And he wanted to know if that was bad? "Cadet Webb," I said carefully, "how much did they tell you about human capabilities before you arrived?" He shrugged, which looked painful. "Just that humans have good endurance. Something about persistence hunting on Earth. We used to chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion." "Sir. Persistence hunting. Of course. Of course. These humans evolve not as apex predators with claws and fangs, but as relentless pursuers who simply refuse to stop. Ever. Under any circumstances. They were not built for strength or speed, they were built to just keep going when everything else gave up." And I had mocked him for coming from a 1G world. I had called his home gravity pathetic. I had assumed fragility where there was actually something far more terrifying, absolute, unbreakable endurance. Commander Thex appeared in the observation window, and even from this distance, I could see him laughing. Actually laughing. He activated the intercom. "Instructor Vorn, I believe you have learned why I said to be mindful. Cadet Webb, report to medical for evaluation. Everyone else, training is over for the day. You have all witnessed something remarkable." As Marcus limped toward the exit, still standing under his own power somehow, I called out, "Webb." He turned back. "Sir. Tomorrow, we train in standard gravity. 1G. His smile got wider. "With respect, sir, I would prefer to continue at 2.2. I think I am getting used to it." Getting used to it. The human thought he was getting used to it. After 1 day. After 1 training session. After cracking the floor. As he left, Lieutenant Kress stood beside me, both of us staring at the fractured plating. "What have they sent us?" she whispered. I watched the door close behind Marcus Webb, human, from Earth, where they apparently forged soldiers out of sheer stubborn refusal to acknowledge physical limitations. "I think," I said slowly, "they have sent us a very clear message about underestimating 1G worlds." The cracks in the floor remained, a permanent reminder. We never did repair them. Instead, they became legendary. Training Floor 7, where the human broke the floor. Where Instructor Vorn learned that mockery should be reserved for after you have seen what a species can actually do. And Marcus Webb? He graduated top of his class, of course. Because apparently, when you tell a human something is too difficult, they hear it as a personal challenge. Who knew? Well, now I do. Friends, if you are enjoying our videos and want to watch new and exciting sci-fi and HFY stories every day, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure to turn on the bell icon so you never miss any of our latest uploads. Like the video and share it with your friends as well, so our community can continue to grow and bring you even more amazing content.